it burns me, your heart be so cold. You put on a show, but baby, what for? Fuzzy picture, no antenna, I'm just trying to kick it with ya. Boy, what's with that big head? Streets got you addicted. Fast cars and women, fast cars and women. But you know where the home is at. Be that bitch to keep you coming back. Be that bitch to keep you coming back. Cause you know where the home is at.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Sante. And I'm bringing a video to you guys sharing a little bit about me having this MIrena IUD removed after 15 years. Well, I could start by saying that it's been 2 days since I had the MIrena out. And initially, the very first day that I had it removed, I felt free. I felt like the world was mine and I was going to be okay. All right, so just to share a little bit about myself, I decided to make this video because for years I've been struggling with mental health. I am an active survivor of narcissistic and domestic violence and abuse. And so I just be wanting to advocate to all of my women out here who come from a similar background as I do and really need someone to resonate with. I'm here. It's me. Her, she, your girl. So just to be as vague as possible, back in 2019, I had experienced some legal issues, and it just seemed like I kept running into them back to back because I was emotionally unstable and I was experiencing negative shit within my relationship, and my responses to the negative stuff in the relationship was so grandiose that it was almost like temporary insanity, the way that I would get all worked up, very high strung, angry, anxiety on 10, and not rationalizing or realizing to set boundaries way early on, or to have walked away way, way early on in the relationship. And when the process of me doing all this self-work, because I have this strong innate desire to be my highest version of me, to vibrate at a very high frequency, to get more into being of service to my women and young ladies, and talking to you guys about some of my adversities that could potentially help you guys to kind of detour and take a shortcut into thriving, because that's my goal. My goal is to live in bliss and to start thriving as soon as possible. And with that being said, that was one of the reasons why I went as far as to have my MIrena removed, because over the years I just had to start constantly processing and gaining new introspection about why and what, because the court system is so black and white. They don't technically hear you when you come into a courtroom and you say that you're unstable and this is what's causing these type of incidences, right? So it boiled down to the MIrena. And now that I've just had a sudden epiphany once it was removed, that it played a major role in a lot of decisions and things that I've experienced over the years. Now, the Mirena had been placed when I first had the twins, because I have a set of twins, and they're 15 now. So that's how I kept track of my Mirena, and I knew every 5 years to go and get it replaced, removed and replaced. And I would do that. The first year that I had the Mirena placed, I experienced so much discomfort. My ovaries would have would swell all the time. Um, the IUD itself felt like it was puncturing my cervix and that it wasn't in the right place. But I was keen to go into the doctor to have it checked, and there was no issues there. Everything seemed to have been fine. It was just my body responding to the birth control initially. And that went on, and it was like a crippling kind of an discomfort and pain, like bloating, all of that. That went on for maybe about the first 2.5, 3 years. Then once I got done with that experience, once I made it through that painful part of it, it ultimately started to get less intense, and I saw less of my menstrual cycle, to a point where now, prior to having it removed, I had not a menstrual cycle at all, unless I bared down and squatted on the toilet during my menstrual, or I would wipe and see a little bit of pink coloration on the tissue itself. That would be the only way I could indicate that I was having a menstrual cycle on set. But I noticed these past few years that I was experiencing really bad breast tenderness, um, and like swelling of the nymphs, or whatever those ducts that are in the breast, would swell like literally maybe a week or two prior. So I started, I was concerned. I thought maybe it was something worse. But then as I kept paying attention to my body and noticing it was a routine thing, that right before I would, my body would be going through its menstrual processes, I was actually having like PMS, and those was my symptoms and signs to know that soon that would be coming. Um, I've been talking to counselors, social workers, psychiatrists. I've been diagnosed with um, bipolar disorder and post traumatic stress disorder clinically, and those things piqued my interest. It made me want to learn more about mental health and to understand like what could be like the leading causes, because I've eliminated over the years, I've been constantly eliminating things and adjusting, and I still kept finding myself in this loop, in this vicious cycle, and I could not really get a grip on myself to understand why these things were happening. In later videos, I would love to go in about my experience with narcissism, my child traumas, my mental health as well. But this right here is just for me to share the experience about the Mirena, because you don't really see many videos where they're sharing with you their personal experiences with the Mirena in itself. Now, when I initially chose that birth control contraceptive, it was because I had already tried every contraceptive they had in the market, and I wasn't happy with it. It was all affecting me hormonally. I was constantly out of balance. And I realize now that, thinking back on that, I literally, as soon as I started um, playing around with birth control, is when I started to have, that's when I got my diagnosis of bipolar disorder. And at the time, it was called manic depression because I had highs and lows, and I was still dealing with postpartum. And I wanted to get help, I wanted to feel normal again. And I just never felt like myself since, literally. I learned how to cope and adjust with my hormonal imbalances, but I did not even consider for a moment that that was the causing factor to me ultimately experiencing depression and feeling unhappy, unworthy, having low self-esteem, low sex drive. All these things were affecting my life on an everyday basis, and I had no desire to live at some points. Um, and it's a trickle down effect when you are like that. And I was pregnant every 2 years from the time I was 15 till I was 21 years of age. So I was living in my trauma on top of having a dysfunctional relationship that was just not even fair to me to begin with. So I'm just so glad to be finally speaking out and saying something right now and expressing what revelations that I've come upon at this point. So I couldn't even wait. I couldn't hold it. I didn't want to make no beautiful video with no lighting. I'm not trying to be prepared for anything. It's just like the time is now. I've been holding back, being passive aggressive about myself for so long. And it's just time for me to really step out in my light, in my truth, and really dig deep so that I can become that woman that I know I am inside. I don't have to project her right now. You know what I'm saying? Um, I the IUD, I had it replaced 3 times with no breaks in between. My body has never been back regulated since I was 15 years old. So this is something that's real. Like, I am truly excited to be back with a menstrual cycle again. Like I asked, I'm gonna be all over the place because I'm whatever. So I asked the doctor, when would I be expecting the menstrual cycle, because I had just went through all the breast soreness literally 2.5 weeks ago. Like early part of the month is when I typically have the experience this pattern. And so I was like, will my menstrual start, you know, around the same time or woo woo woo? But she said, no, everybody's different. So she couldn't give me no real gauge on what I was to expect. As far as the removal of the MIrena, it was pretty simple. It was a little bit of a discomfort and a tug on the cervix initially when she found the string and pulled it out. But other than that, and I did have cramping immediately afterwards, and I'm still experiencing. It's been 2 days since I've had the MIrena removed, and as soon as it was removed, I felt free. I felt like optimistic, like something in the back of my head just said, "It now you're about to start being normal. You're about to start being able to make sense of what's going on now." I believe myself to be a spiritual advisor, and that is my goal. My goal is to heal myself through these processes that I've been taking in order to have a better perspective and understanding so that I can really get to other women. Like, that's all I really want to do. I've been through so much pain, and I don't want to see another woman experience that. So, just everything in a nutshell as far as the birth control, because I would love to, I will be getting on here to talk in depth about, um, or keep up with the process about my mental health. I'm gonna keep tabs on this journey, and I get into other things. I write, I sing, I dance, um, I cook. I'm a self-renowned chef, and I have a couple of. Um, I'm a cleaner. I do commercial cleaning, so there's a number of things that I'm getting into that I would like to scale up and grow, and I'm just I'm just ready. I'm just beyond ready, as you can see, because I would have procrastinated on making this video just to say what somebody might need to hear. And that's all that matters to me right at this point. If I can help anyone else, I want to help my sisters and my young ladies. Um, the doctor did offer or suggest like this new MIrena that's supposed to be like a copper MIrena that has less. I mean, it does have. I mean, it supposedly has no hormones in it. But to be quite frank and honest, I don't want any other contraceptive other than a condom. And if I need to go in a little further to avoid getting pregnant, I will do so. But I'm just a natural woman. I just want things to just go as they supposed to go. I don't want to be snipping and cutting and doing all this and that. Like, I think self-discipline, self-control is the best contraceptive. I've literally been um, celibate or abstinent. Have not engaged in any sexual activity because I am on a journey to freeing myself from narcissistic abuse and just I'm on a roll. That's all I can say. I'm on a roll. Only thing I wish is that I didn't get into so much traffic violation and trouble. I've had, you know, a couple of OVIs. I've ran from the police by car chase. Um, and I'm paying for that. I'm dealing with probation and not being able to have a license. I don't have any privileges, and I'm still being love bombed, discarded, and stonewalled by my spouse. And you know, I'm just in a I'm on a mission of just building the strength and building these businesses and becoming stable financially, mentally, and I strive to thrive and be happy and live in bliss. And I know that I can. I know it's possible. I know it shall be done. It will be done. And I just want anybody who is out there who feel like they're lost and they don't think that they could be loved, or they just feel this scarcity mindset and they feel like they're lacking something, that look within, deep within yourself, and really have developed that introspection and get to know yourself and find grace and just constantly pour it in, because you're going to need a lot of it, because you're going to still keep having life long as you're breathing, waking up, and not in under the ground. You're on top of this dirt. You have an opportunity, and that's what I'm waking to realize, that I want it bad. I want this bad. I want me. I want me back. And so I feel that removing the MIrena was just another additive to helping me to find that level of peace and focus and not be distracted, um, or fall off or be in that perpetual loop of negative experiences that I was having. And I'm going to keep y'all posted on any of my withdrawal symptoms because it's only been 2 days. Naturally, I mean, while I was on birth control and all these years, I've been emotional, quick to cry, quick to get angry, um, just a lot. So I want to see where this is going to go. And if y'all interested in seeing where and how this goes and what more I get into and how I live my truth out and find my divine purpose in doing these things that I feel I need to do, that it will teach you, and motivate you like money do to collect your best self, your energy dollars, and be conservative and lead yourself and know exactly what's happening so that you can be quick to make corrections, because I want that for you. As bad as I want it for me, I want it for you. And at the end of the day, if it's in your soul and your soul has a fire within it to do what it is that you set out to do, then I believe in you. I believe in myself. I believe in us. I think that we can and will do this. And I hope that you stay tuned for my next videos because I absolutely want to really get deep depth. I'm about to do a story time about um, my childhood trauma, my narcissist, and my family dynamic, and how my generationally the women in my family have suffered from abuse, and how that in turn got me to where I am today, where I had no boundaries and my tolerance was too willing to disregard myself, um, when it came to other people, and the codependency that I experienced being from dysfunction and living in dysfunction, and the potentials of how it would carry out in my children, um, that I want to see improve as well. So many different things that I could talk about, but we're going to save that for the next video. If you are open to just being my friend, because I have been through a lot and I've isolated myself from so many great people, or haven't allowed myself to do so. And now I'm just ready to um, grow, grow in a sense that I can't be stopped. And I want you to be unstoppable with me. So like and subscribe, and ask me any questions that you feel free to do. I mean, that you're interested in, like anything. I promise you I will respond and reply, because this is me doing what I've been in fear of doing. And I'm so happy to be able to share my conclusions on self love, self wealth, health, mental, physical growth, and just doing better and being better. And glowing up, the glow up, and the boss up, and all that. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm her, and I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, then you were interested because they're not sharing a lot about this MIrena. Because to be quite honest, I thought that I did my due diligence. I thought that I researched this birth control. It was my final answer, my final option, and I believed in it until now when I'm realizing that it might have caused me more hurt, financial deprivation, and mental and emotional anguish than I even imagined just in itself, along with all the other contributing factors. But I just wanted to get on here and say that remain radical, queens. Do what you do. And if it's any fellas who might be watching this because they want to help their person, I'm proud of you, brother. Um, pass this message along. And we just gonna figure this out together. Peace.